If I often get this, like guys will get approached, or they might be considering approaching particular clients, like those larger sort of commercial clients or builders and things like that. And one of the questions that comes up is like, yeah, I just don't know. Like, I don't want to. I don't want to start work for like how do I know if they're going to pay? Like, is there anything that is there any like due diligence that people could do or should do that would give them some insight into whether they're going into a business agreement with someone who's a bad debtor or someone who's more likely to pay?
Yeah, look, that's a great question, and look, I think there is a bit of due diligence that you can do. In particular, just check their history, and I think a big red flag is, do they have a history? If there's no history, if they're like a company that's literally been incorporated for the specific job that you're doing,
Yep.
then you might sort of start to just think twice, or I guess think about what measures, or what extra measures perhaps you might need to take to protect yourself. And obviously, yeah, I mean, looking at if there is a history, then look at it and see, has this company been involved in proceedings before? That's something that is reasonably easy to find as a
search on the internet should find something.
Yeah, that's right. You can check. You can check for cases with their name. You can also do creditor watch searches as well, either through a lawyer like us, or you can pay for one yourself directly through Creditor Watch themselves, and that will check if there's any proceedings that are currently on foot, because obviously you'll only be able to check cases that are actually been concluded, whereas the Creditor Watch search might actually show proceedings that are on foot. They'll also show if parties have actually contacted Creditor Watch to list some debts or outstanding payments and that kind of thing. So yeah, there's those sorts of things, and also wherever possible, ring around, word of mouth.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. That's pretty important. It's always the most useful due diligence, really, is because people don't put their own reputation on the line for people they know are not or whatever, right? Like, I mean, you're not going to say, yeah, you should hire this guy unless you should hire that guy, because because it's your reputation on the line, So so definitely some due diligence is helpful, and then the other things to do obviously is to ensure that you're, like I said before, you've got a contract, and then you're also thinking about what you might need in that contract. One thing that we say to our members is get payment on site. Like there's no, like everywhere, like you don't go into Apple and say, yeah, cool, I'll take the Apple version. I have the Apple version. I'll have the MacBook and 3 of the latest iPhones, thanks. And you're cool, just send me an invoice. Yeah, just send me an invoice and walk out with it. That doesn't happen, right? So there's no law against being paid on site for the works once they're completed, and especially if it's smaller jobs. We'd really sort of recommend that. Obviously, look, it's difficult because sometimes you're going to a site and maybe you're doing works at a property that's owned by a landlord and the tenant's there, and you can't ask the payment from the tenant. So obviously there's complicating factors, but wherever possible, do that. Get deposits. Get deposits before you start work and all that. And look, it's easy to say a lot of these things, but obviously we need to keep in mind that if you're kind of being a little bit demanding, for example, then sometimes that means people go elsewhere. So it's a tough one. It's a tough one. It's sometimes you've kind of just got to take what's being offered. Otherwise, the next cab off the rank might get it. So it's a bit of a balancing act sometimes. But yeah, look, things like that. If you can get a deposit in advance, if you can get payment on site, after you've completed the works, so you don't have to chase anyone, and you cut out that administrative burden, then great, then do so. there's no. It's like the old saying, you know, you don't. What is it? Don't ask, don't get. You know, so at least ask. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
that's good. That's good.